Are you tired of hypocritical religious leaders? Are you tired of people who don't practice what they preach? Are you tired of those who are always willing to tell you how you're supposed to live, but they're not willing to live that way themselves? Then good for you. Jesus was tired of that too. In His great Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 20, "Unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven." Jesus was tired of the religious leaders of His day being hypocritical, not practicing what they preach, being willing to tell others what they should do, but not being willing to do those things themselves. And in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus addressed a lot of those issues. How they could preach against and teach against murder, but they didn't control their own anger. How they might preach against adultery, but refused to control their own lust. How they would make promises and take oaths, but then they would just weasel out of keeping their promises. They did not appreciate the sanctity of marriage and manipulated God's marriage law. In the sermon, he talks about how they would condemn others for very small infractions while they were completely and totally unaware of their huge and glaring sins. He would talk about how they would parade their good deeds before others and brag about how good they were and brag about the good things that they did, and how they would claim allegiance to God, but were unwilling to really and truly obey God. If you would like to study more about the great Sermon on the Mount that Jesus preached and learn more about what it means to truly and genuinely be a follower of Jesus and a citizen of His kingdom, then watch the video series on the Sermon on the Mount provided for you by World Video Bible School.